Hello, everyone. I'm Yves Salomon-Fernández, and I am the president of Urban College of Boston. And I am here today with Denella Clark, who is the president of the Boston Arts Academy Foundation. And Urban College is honoring Denella this year with our honorary degree and also with the Robert M. Coard Leadership Award. And I'm just so excited to be here with you, Denella. You have a great history with the college that goes back generations, and I know will continue for another generation. So could you tell us a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about your relationship to Urban College of Boston?
Thank you so much for this incredible honor. I am deeply grateful and even more humbled by the fact that it's coming from my mother's alma mater. I am a proud Jamaican immigrant and grateful to my mom, Pearline, and my dad, Evan, for bringing us to this country. When we immigrated here, it was during the height of busing. And when you think about busing in Boston, it was really rooted in education, this really separate but not equal. And I can remember coming here and saying to my mom, we only saw white people on TV in Jamaica, and I thought, why don't they like us? Is it our patois that we're speaking, broken English? What is it? And I remember my mom would say, learn how to speak, learn proper English. And despite that, though, we were bused to South Boston. I was attacked. I still to this day have 3 stitches in my leg. I spent days at Boston City Hospital, which today is known as Boston Medical Center. And by the grace of God, my mother found her way to Roxbury and found the METCO program, and I ended up attending school in Natick, Massachusetts, and really there found out that not all people were the same based on the color of their skin, because I had and still have a Jewish host family that welcomed me with open arms. It was almost like a boarding program, because I got to live in Natick and play basketball and run track and all the things. And even back then, some 40 odd years now, my mom knew she wanted to get a college degree, and she needing to get her GED to apply to college. And so even though it took my mom many, many years later because of some other tragedies and trauma for our family, she was able to successfully graduate from Urban College at the age of 60. Remarkable.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see the overachieving gene runs in your family. I know a little bit about your daughter, and she's just taken everything to the next level.
Yep.
So we're very proud of you, of your mom as an alumna. And you mentioned that you're an immigrant, so say a little bit about where you're from. And as you know, a lot of our students hail from other countries. So Urban College of Boston is a minority serving institution. We also have the distinction of being a Hispanic serving institution. And until last year, we're also a designated Asian American serving institution. We have students from all over, and people who speak all kinds of languages and people who are strivers, whether they were born in this country or they were born elsewhere. So you know what it's like to be a woman, to want to achieve the American dream. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how that relates to Urban College and to this honor.
I was born in a town called Mandeville, Jamaica. I get home, a couple times a year. And what I love about our Jamaican people and Caribbean people, but so many immigrants, is that we are people of resilience. We are people of faith. And in Jamaica, our motto is one love. We are people who love. And so for the last 35 years, my entire vocation and career has been rooted in philanthropy. And if we look up the meaning of philanthropy, it means the love of humanity or the love of humankind. And I believe that that has been the life that I have strived to live by helping others through love, through giving back, through making a meaningful impact. I've had the pleasure of working not just here at Boston Arts Academy Foundation. I'm getting ready for my 10th high school graduation here, but also a deep career in healthcare. And really, you could see the impact, the difference that philanthropy makes to advance the good in this world. And so when I think about our motto for Jamaica, One Love, and I think about the real meaning of philanthropy, I feel like I'm doing what Pearline and Evan instilled in me to do.
Yeah, it's so great to hear that. Denella, I would be remiss to not mention your book. And your team just told us that it dropped today. So tell us about the significance of the book.
Well, the book really is multifaceted. It really is a tribute to my mom, who was a pastor. And the book is actually titled Pastor Pearline's Kitchen, Recipe for Raising Millions, Leading with Purpose, and Building Community. You know, I didn't go to Harvard. I wasn't professionally trained in philanthropy, but as I reflect, where I learned the importance of giving and giving back was really in my mother's kitchen. She was somebody who brought people in, who raised lots of money, particularly for her church. She was the head of the pastor's aid committee. She was head of the building committee. And this book really talks about how you could use the tangible skills that you may learn at home and in a kitchen table under a great leader like my mom to raise money, to advance the public good. And I saw her do that day in and day out. And I'm so honored that my shero and mentor, who also didn't have the traditional path, Dr. Jackie Jenkins Scott, wrote the foreword to the book. And I remember even when Jackie went to become a president at Wheelock, people said, oh, does she have a PhD, for example, because a lot of college presidents like you have a PhD, but Jackie does not. But she's gotten all of these honorary degrees. But what she had and what she also instilled in me is it's about relationships. It's about integrity. It's about building community, telling people stories, honoring the donors' gifts. And, you know, I hope people will read it. I hope people will get something from it. At the end of each chapter, there's 2 pages to reflect. And, you know, there's some combinations of faith, but it really is a guide to how to raise money. You know, I feel like raising money has been my superpower, and the difference that it's made in people's lives. I had 4 people, very specific people, give a testimonial. One is the great Dr. Lee Pelton, who hired me, Sandy Edgerly, one of our well-known philanthropists, George Regan, who's just like the guru of PR. And then just really touching for me is Leah Price, who's a Boston Arts Academy alum. It took me just about a year to write it, and I'm hoping that people will get something out of it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, Denella, I want to weave a few themes that you've brought up. One, the importance of a woman in a household, whatever composition that household looks like, the theme of community, the theme of difference. And I would say, in addition to philanthropy being your superpower, you're an awesome and extraordinary, I can only use the superlative, to really describe your power in bringing diverse, divergent, and even polarized communities together and make people feel seen and bring people, mobilize people for a shared purpose to have an impact that is greater than any individual person. Where did you learn that? How do you do that? What's the secret sauce that you can share with the rest of us?
I firmly believe, Yves, that all that I am and all that I still ever hope to be is really because of my mom. When I think about her upbringing and all the things that she instilled in me, just different words that I could hear her say, the confidence. I told someone the story the other day. I remember when I was a young girl, everyone was wearing Gloria Vanderbilt and Calvin Klein jeans. And I remember I went to my parents and I said, I'd like a pair of Gloria Vanderbilt jeans. And my mother said, okay, I'm gonna get you those jeans. And 2 weeks later, both of my parents, they were like the true people on the show In Living Color.
Oh yeah.
How many jobs do you have, right? And so 2 weeks later, my mother, in a brown paper bag, wrapped something And I opened the bag, and she had gotten these jeans from Ames or JCPenney. And what she had done, Eve, was she embroidered on the back of the jeans, Denella Denise James. And I was so upset because these were not the Gloria Vanderbilt or not the Calvin Klein. I might have been 15. My mother said to me that the name she gave me, Denella Denise James, was just as important as the name that Gloria Vanderbilt's parents had gave them. And I didn't get it at the time, but man, do I get it now. Yeah. So I think about that, and I think about that type of confidence that my mom instilled in me, and that the legacy of service, right? She ran a large family daycare for 37 years. Her ministry was about couples, which relates back to family. So I think about that, and I think about how we lost her suddenly on June 26, 2023. And so I have decided that even now I'm going to turn my pain into purpose and make sure, sometimes people say gone but not forgotten.
Yes.
Oh, I'm making sure that Pearline is never, ever forgotten. Yeah. And I want to make sure that I am living out her legacy. You're an immigrant, and I know so many of the students at Urban College, there still really is that thing, despite what's going on in the country, the American dream. People still believe, and I do too, that America, there is no better place than the United States of America. And when I think about my mom, I believe that I have an obligation. To whom much is given, much is required. So much of, even you'll see in my book, I dedicate it to my parents, and the Bible talks about honor your mother and father so that you may have a long life. And so that's all I want to do forever long. I'm here. And, when I think about the people at Urban College and think about my mom, that resiliency, that stick-to-itness, that don't quit, even if it takes you until 60.
Absolutely.
The adult learner that sometimes is overlooked, the person who probably cannot speak as clear because they're multilingual, right? Those are the people that I want to support. Those are the people that I want to lift up. And I feel like I am doing that. I have done that, but I also feel like I have so much more work to do and so much more to contribute.
That's great. So our final question, for folks who are interested in supporting the scholarship that you have that is named after your mom, what is your most compelling reason for them to support that and to support students' journeys to higher education?
Yeah, you talk about women and women of color and immigrant women. As I said, this was a total dream for my mom. My mom felt that she was abandoned as a child. Her mother left her and went to England. And so my mom felt that she suffered as a girl child in particular because her brother was told to go and study. And so for me, I want the Pastor Pearline James Scholarship to specifically go to a woman and an immigrant woman, because I know how proud my mother was, and I know the difference that having that degree, that credential made in her life, despite the fact that she probably wasn't the most educated, the most wise person, but Urban College gave her that opportunity. And even to get the Bob Coard Scholarship, I think about Urban College started out of ABCD, which was started by Bob Coard, who's somebody that I knew as a man about town. So to be able to raise money to not only get the scholarship started, but to get it endowed in perpetuity so that long after I am gone, that scholarship remains for the next immigrant woman, adult learner, is deeply meaningful to me. So I hope that people will contribute and help our family to get this off the ground. Our initial goal is $10,000. We certainly are hoping to exceed that. But life is about giving back and giving to others. And so that's what I hope to do with the Pastor Pearline James Scholarship at Urban College.
Thank you, Denella.
Oh, thank you.
Well, your spirits of generosity, community, empowerment, perseverance definitely shown through today, as they always do, among other values that you bring forth. So thank you everyone for joining us, and certainly Denella, thank you so much.
Thank you
for joining me this
Thank you so
afternoon.
much for the honor.